I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey, everybody, I'm Matt Ockamp.
And I'm Pat Reber.
And say it with us, Vio?
Welcome to Mutant
Menace. Did Vio put her name in for the
I don't remember
intro?
Vio did. I don't think Vio did.
Okay.
That's why I said it with a question mark. And it's okay. It's okay.
We're breaking our own rules, which we're allowed to do.
We're allowed to get things wrong. It's the listeners that aren't allowed to be wrong ever.
That's right.
Us who are. And they don't have access to our emails, so they don't know. Only Vio knows, and Vio's not going to tell. Pat.
Matt.
What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about the straight up X-Men.
Yes!
No ice.
Oh, man. It's been so long since we've talked about the
X-Men. We were just looking through the schedule, and in the last 2 months, I think we've covered 3 actual series X-Men issues.
Hey, hold on to your dongus, because that is the way that this is going to be for the rest of the podcast, because from now on there will always be at least 4 X-Men
There's always
series,
several titles.
I guess from now on it'll be X-Men, X-Factor, and New Mutants, and then Wolverine will get added in. It's a reality TV
Factor,
show.
Matt.
It's a reality TV show, and then Wolverine will get added in, and then Excalibur will get added in. And the New Mutants turns to X-Force. So it'll be a rotating 5 series for a very long time.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to fall behind pretty fast.
We're going to be done this podcast by 2030. We're just going to start releasing 5 a week.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the X-Men. Man, this series of issues, man, it's like a just total grab bag. Every issue, you're getting a different taste, a different texture, a different flavor.
Yeah, I know you and I have some thoughts on why the X-Men are behaving this way, but do you remember what the X-Men were doing before this? What was the last time we read a real X-Man?
My observation, and I'll probably say this again later in the episode, but my observation about these issues, I think, extends to the previous, say, 6 issues of X-Men we've read.
Yeah.
Very much feels like Chris Claremont is taking his notebook. So imagine in the Byrne and Cockrum eras, he had big blocks of this is what's happening during these 12 issues, and then the next 5 issues we're doing this, and then the next 7 issues we're doing. At this point, he's turning his notebook upside down and shaking ideas out onto the table and kind of scrambling them around and being like, what do we got? Kulan Goth. I wanted to do this Kulan Goth.
Everything's medieval.
It's not that all of it is bad. Kulan Goth maybe was, but it's not like War Hunt was really cool.
Sure.
And some of these issues we're about to read, a lot of them are really good. It's just there's only a very thin thematic thread connecting them.
And we had fun with what were the last ones we read? I guess Power Pack and Firestar.
Yeah.
Caught up with them. But yeah, each of those are very much standalone stories.
Mm-hmm. So the last time we saw them, they were fighting Morlocks and threatening Power Pack.
Right. Outside of that, Storm left 2 or 3 times, right?
It took her a full year from when she said, I'm leaving the X-Men to go back to Africa, for her to get to Africa, because she either just kept not going, or Kulan Goth stole her ship and turned it into medieval.
Right. Aside from that, they also hung out with Alpha Flight.
They went to Asgard with the New Mutants.
We got an annual where they told a weird campfire story,
which feels like 1,000 years ago, but that was like probably in the time these were being published, like 3 months ago.
To be fair, we've read like 3 years worth of comics by volume since then.
So I guess, all right, where are all the characters at? We have Rachel Summers, who just decided to start going by the name Phoenix. She makes the decision in these issues again. I guess they need to do it.
Yeah, she comes back around to it.
Mm-hmm. But she just decided to start going by the name Phoenix. We have Professor Xavier got beaten up by a bunch of his students and almost died, and Healer brought him back to life but
told him to take it easy.
Which he hasn't been doing.
And let his students take care of him.
Which he hasn't. And he didn't even tell his students it happened.
They went into battle together and he didn't let them know that he was hurt.
And he's been getting worse and unable to use his powers.
Right.
Wolverine and Kitty recently got back from Japan, and they have this bond that nobody else quite understands.
And Kitty is Shadow Cat. She's grown up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was all Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, which was actually 100 years ago, right?
Colossus is still like, boo-hoo, I am not good enough to be on the X-Men, and boo-hoo, I miss my Secret Wars girlfriend who's dead.
He's got low self-esteem.
I never talked to once.
Who I couldn't actually speak with.
Who else do we got? We got Rogue, who has just been fucking solid ever since she joined the team.
Yeah. She was she seems to have worked through a lot of what was plaguing her.
Kurt Nightcrawler, who is he's leading the
fucking
team right now, and
he's
not happy about it. He thinks he's doing a bad job, right. And he kind of is doing a bad job.
But nobody will tell him that.
No. They just say it behind his back whenever anyone else is leading the team. They're like, oh God, this person's doing better than Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Oh, and Kitty's development as a leader has been showing.
Yeah, since she's gotten back from Japan, she's kind of become a lot more of an adult.
Yeah. She's like a squad leader. Not a team leader, but
And I guess the last thing we should say is this is happening during Secret Wars 2. And thus, Magneto, as I guess we'll find out why, is a good guy now.
Yeah. And we just have to deal with it. We just have to accept it.
And he's dating Lee Forrester. I think these issues make me feel better about it. But it seems like the impetus for it is just editorial mandate, dim-dupid, just kind of being like, this is the case. This is true now.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So I want to get into sort of like I've got a real thought about X-Men that I think will change the way that we sort of view these comics, like from the ground up. And it starts with
Matt, it sounds like that was going to be revolutionary, so I'm sorry that we have to interrupt it. Maybe next episode.
I'm going to write it down really fast.
But right now, it's time. Are you paying attention? Hey.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
Stop looking at your desk.
I'm trying to. Okay.
It's time for Pat's email corner.
Okay, I'll just try.
We're gonna hop right in, Matt. We're gonna get to Ink Master talking about episode 66.
Okay.
Short and sweet. Hey, Pat, tell Matt I finally have my laptop back.
Yay!
I actually got it back the day before the last episode went out, and the monitor is working perfectly. It's honestly such a relief to finally have it back after so long, and I'm glad this whole saga is finally over. Ink.
Do we feel like this was a dishonesty, or does he get a pass here?
I feel like it's true, but Ink, if you could pass along maybe some pictures or a short video of it working, it would help me a lot.
Well, I also just mean like when last we talked about Ink Master's laptop being broken, it wasn't broken. And you know how we feel about dishonesty.
Wait, oh, we read the email, but it was, Matt.
You really should have emailed us like immediate, like before you left the Staples or whatever.
They do that?
They used to.
Thank you for the update, Ink. Very proud of you. Please keep us posted if anything bad happens.
Proud of the Geek Squad that helped fix your laptop.
Yeah. Up next, we have Ambitious Eric.
Yes.
Okay. Some folks have sounded off about this in the Discord as well. Hey, Pat, could you please show Matt these panels using your internet magic that explains my previous email? Please don't show them to him in person. He hasn't earned that. So maybe I'll forward this email to you, Matt. But there is 2 panels here of John Constantine reminding people that his name is pronounced Constantine.
You mean Constantine. You said Constantine. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But here in this panel, he's saying John Constantine, that's Tine, rhymes with fine.
No, that's wrong. Constantine doesn't rhyme with fine.
And then this guy...
Maybe in his area of Britain, they pronounce it fiend. Okay, fiend. Okay, fiend.
That's
okay.
fiend.
It's all fiend.
Okay. You can see where somebody can get...
jackets.
You can see how somebody can get confused there.
Yeah.
He goes on, he says, I was also almost devastated that you don't read my incredibly clever emails in full since I'm using some really A-tier material here. Aww. But then I realized it's the best way for Pat and I to deepen our parasocial relationship. He knows secrets about my cutting wit nobody else does. He keeps them for himself. I respect that.
And he teases me with them. He teases me with them. Like when we're off air, when we're not broadcasting live, He's like, I know how clever Eric is, ambitious Eric. And I'm like, tell me. He's like, no.
Nope. I'm keeping this one. No, it's thank you, ambitious Eric. We've said it before, but we do have to paraphrase and maybe edit emails just to fit everything in for time. And so I'm going to skip the rest of your email. Let's keep moving. Next, we have Canadian Dan.
Canadian Dan! Yeah, he and his whole family listen.
We get a little more detail here. He says, hey, Pat, could you please tell Matt that I just listened to your All Alpha Flight episode 66? Cool. I was enjoying it very much until I heard that you guys will not be going deep into the Mantlo run. This brings back my concern for less Canadian content, and I believe you will find a lot more villains that Matt's laugh will apply to. He is recommending that we just continue as a 6th series on top of the 5 that we're splitting off into. We continue with Alpha Flight.
It's just the problem is it becomes less and less X-Men related, and it's not good.
But we promise to keep featuring Canadians here in Pat's email corner.
We could just say we'll sneak Canadian provinces into our recaps every now and then.
You know what we should do is just put a very quiet 3rd track down where occasionally one of us is just going Canada.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
In closing, Canadian Dan says, I would like to congratulate my son for his podcast debut. Canadian wife is not that happy to discuss Mutant Menace around the dinner table, but we're working on it.
Yay! Hey, Canadian wife. My name's Matt. I am happy to meet you, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. You, Canadian wife, you can write into Pat's email corner, and we kind of have to talk about
gmail.com.
mutantmenacepod@gmail.com, and we kind of have to talk about whatever you say in your email. So
it doesn't have to be X-Men related. You also don't have to go by Canadian wife if you have a real name.
No, and you're allowed to get divorced.
Whoa.
I'm just saying you don't. It's not that you should. I think Canadian Dan rules, and you're lucky to have him as a spouse. I'm just saying you are allowed to get divorced. You don't have to be Canadian wife.
Well,
Okay. I don't think you should. I'm saying you can. You're allowed. You see, we're talking about what a person has the freedom to do.
mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. Very excited to hear from you. Let's keep on moving, Matt. We've got another Dan here. Daniel, who, if you remember, we just haven't nicknamed yet.
Oh, I thought of a nickname for him. Hold on. I'm flipping through my notes.
Also, while you're doing that, get your random number generator ready.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I'll put my notes down and I'll do that actually quick.
Okay. We have 35 past questions or statements or responses to episodes 31 and 32.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
So pull it up. I'm going to go through some of the other chatter here first. Okay. Hey, Pat, tell Matt it's me again, your favorite email novelist. I'm getting slower at these responses, and it really is because the stories are getting so good, and I have so much to say about them. I feel like the X-Men are finally finding their stride through Claremont and cementing themselves as a Marvel staple rather than the pet project that you refuse to give up on. So again, this is back in 31 and 32. Mutant Menace 31 and 32, if you remember those good old days. Anyways, here's my usual armada of responses. We get all the responses to past, and then we also have a few responses to the intros and Pat's email corners of episodes 61 to 63. Still a few behind, but number one, I do wish I could get into a Crisis Protocol game, but I don't think I have the time, money, space, or patience to assemble and paint the minis.
Yeah.
Besides, the only nerds that would play it with me would be you guys in the Discord. I don't think I would do that.
I think he means the other Discord guys.
Oh, okay. Because I don't have that kind of time. But don't slander, Matt, this is for you. Don't slander the X-Men Legends games like that. They were masterpieces.
Whoa, masterpieces. All right. Look, I'm not here to take that away from you. So I'll just be quiet about it.
Oh, wow.
But did Owen Wilson suddenly show up on the podcast?
Finally, for the current episodes, which he keeps calling future episodes, my wife does the same shit when saying bagel. She says beg-ul when it should be pronounced like a seabird. Bagel.
Bagel.
Bagel. Bagel. Bagel. Bagel.
Bagel.
Bagel.
All right, I got my random number generator here.
Okay.
Number 7.
35. Give me a number. Number 7. Wouldn't the banish and kill setting on Rom's gun just be vaporize?
Number 26. There's not a lot to say about it.
Yep, you're right. Number 26. If they had to trim this comic down for editorial reasons, why didn't they keep any of the good shit after Magneto's monologue and Kitty's death? I'm not sure. I remember.
Oh, okay. So this is where Magneto thought he killed Kitty Pryde, right?
Yeah.
And then it suddenly just fucking ends. And then they have an entire page about her like playing in the ocean. Or like 3 pages of them just like playing in the ocean or whatever.
Oh.
It's just like, yeah, why wouldn't you wrap up that moment? They just cut to the beach and they were like, and Kitty's fine.
And
then
Kitty
she
was
like
fine.
plays a prank.
It turns
on
out she
Colossus
didn't die.
Yeah.
All right, give me one more. We were
27.
only doing 2, and the people said that they needed more. These are in numerical order. That's strange, right?
So
For
did
a
this
random number generator.
So did this random number generator jumped from 26 to 27.
27. We don't talk enough about how accurate Scott Summers is with his eye beams. I mean, I imagine how good of a shot I would be if I just had to look at something to snipe it. Imagine playing video games and just using your eyes to aim instead of your thumbs. I think we talk a lot about it. He's got spatial geometry brain.
Well, so we talk about that. I think what Daniel's saying is we talk a lot about spatial geometry brain, and that is very impressive. But what we're not saying is the dude's on cheat mode. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to line up his sights, and there's no eye-hand coordination here. You just look at what you want to shoot, and it shoots it.
So we talk a lot about spatial geometry in the context of ricochet angles.
Yes.
But the first shot is also his observation of spatial geometry, just like the distance, the momentum. He's not not like looking in one direction and shooting somebody in the other. He just knows exactly where to look each time because of his spatial geometry brain.
No. Okay.
Yes. What do you mean no?
No, because he's seeing. It's not like his eyes are closed until he shoots, right? He is looking through his visor. He can absolutely see, and then he decides when to shoot. So if a bad guy walks into the room, I'm not going to miss them. I'm going to only open my eyes when I'm looking at the bad guy. My eyes. I'm only going to open my visor when I'm looking at the bad guy. My eyes are open. I'm looking the whole time.
Yes.
So
I don't see how that refutes my point.
Because, Pat, you've never failed to look at something. You've never been like, damn, I'm trying to look at this and I keep missing.
Oh, you're saying that it's like it's a natural advantage for him.
All he has to do is look at it. Yeah, he could hit the moon by just looking at a part on a spot on the moon.
That is pretty cool.
Oh, Pat. I gotta ask you something. It's been nagging at me all week.
Oh, what? Okay, yeah. What's going on, buddy?
Every day I look at my phone and I see, did Pat message me yet and tell me, did you do anything X-Men related this week?
Did I do anything X-Men related this week? Over the weekend here, it was the 4th of July, which in the US, for some of our international listeners, is our Independence Day. It is a bank holiday. So
it's America 250. It is the what is it? Quadra. There's a word for it. Like
there's a scientific term for
250.
The 250th thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is, but point is, yeah, it was America 250. We've lived for 250 days.
Quadra-millennial.
Quadra-millennial, because it's a quarter of a millennium. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you went down to Washington, D.C., and you partook in the America 250 festival.
That was. I haven't been to Washington, D.C. since January of 2021. So I was dog sitting. We were out in the suburbs, not far from where you live, Matt, Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
That is close to where I live. That's where I grew up. That's where I lost my virginity.
Wait, that's where I grew up and lost my virginity.
Whoa! Holy shit!
You lost your virginity in my parents' house?
Look, kids need some place to go.
Anyway, I was dog sitting.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And my parents have 2 very anxious dogs, so we suffered, just like the X-Men.
Okay, that's X-Men related, yeah.
Also, the power went out, so we didn't have air conditioning on the hottest weekend of the year.
Pretty super heroic to take care of dogs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a hero.
Yeah.
Well, but enough about my heroics, Matt. What about you? Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
I do have something X-Men related that I observed. Did you hear about this guy who this is another America 250 thing? Do you hear about this I don't even remember his name, and we shouldn't say his name because he's like a far right broadcaster who was at the America 250 thing, and he was at some rally and he was playing some game called Yes or No, and one of the yes or no things was I don't even know how it doesn't fucking make sense, and it's stupid.
Okay.
But the idea of the Salem witch trials came up. which is very X-Men.
Yes.
Right? And he was like, he asked a little girl in the audience, like, what do you think I would say about the Salem witch trials? And the little girl, like, did they go too far? And the little girl was like, no. And he's like, did they not go far enough? And she was like, yes. And he was like, why? And she was like, because there are witches. And he's like, exactly. And his whole point is this thing, like, if the Salem witch trial, he said, first of all, I don't know if these women were guilty or not.
Yeah.
And second, that he's like, if these people were more organized, then maybe it wouldn't have been such a travesty. Maybe it wouldn't have been so chaotic.
Yeah.
Giving him the absolute most generous read. I guess what he's saying is if they went through specific courts and if they had protocols for prosecuting witches.
Yeah.
In the most absolute, most generous read, what he's saying is less people might have been executed because it wouldn't have been, even though there was mass hysteria happening, it wouldn't have infected the courts. The courts would have had a procedure.
So this is a grift. I know exactly who you're talking about. He's also the same guy that tried to start like a non-woke chocolate company. If you remember that, I think he's tried, like, he's behind a lot of those anti-woke products that they mark up and chuds go out and buy. But this specifically is not giving it a generous read, trying to excuse the mass arrest of immigrants, right? Or any group, really, just to be able to say, like, hey, this was a court process that they went through. What you have to concede is that witches were real, and that these people, if a court of law found them guilty, were practicing witchcraft, and it was worth rooting out. Even if they weren't practicing witchcraft, it was worth rooting out people who were at risk of practicing witchcraft.
So that's the medium read, I think, right? Is the medium read is the ungenerous read is, yeah, like he's trying to excuse the sort of kangaroo courts around immigration. But the medium read is him saying, yeah, there are witches and they shouldn't be here. And they might not be magical witches, but they were, the court could have sussed it out, and they were undesirable people to begin with. These people, they were running naked in the in the woods and making everyone uncomfortable. We should have executed them, right? Like, that's the medium read, and that I think is kind of a little closer to what he actually believes. But yeah, even in this most generous read, where he's saying, like, look, if they had gone further and had a protocol for it, nobody would have been killed because they would have found that none of them are actually witches. But even then, what you're saying is you're taking the United States, which was founded literally on religious freedom. That was like the whole point. There's a whole reason they ran away. It was like, hey, people should be able to be whatever religion they want because what they really meant was we should be able to be Quakers or whatever. But the idea that people should have freedom of religion, if we had a protocol for prosecuting people of a specific religion, even if no one got executed, that is specifically anti the Constitution of the United States.
Yes.
On its like basest foundation. Even if you're one of those people who's like, well, the founding fathers didn't say anything about that racism was bad. At the very least, you would have to concede that they said that religious prosecution is bad, because that was the whole point.
Yeah.
So again, in the most generous read, he's a dipshit. In the medium read, he's a hateful dipshit. In the worst read, he's a Nazi.
Yeah, which again, I know exactly who you're talking about. He's a Nazi.
Yeah.
That's the plain truth of it.
So that's my X-Men related thing. Is that
that is certainly an X-Men villain thing to do.
I didn't know there were people out there, and apparently there is a small. I don't know that he's one of them, but there is a small conspiracy theory subculture out there that does believe that the Salem witch trials were actually trying to ferret out real witches. And I don't think he's one of them. But I did find
But he's
that
somebody
doesn't-
that exploits those groups of people. And
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's my
Fun.
X-Men related thing. I think it is fun. I think it is fun that there are people out there that are like, Salem witch trials were good, actually. So
what was Matt? You asked me earlier, but I don't remember what I said. What are we talking about today?
didn't I? Can you remind me? Was I thought I was taking notes on some thought that I had.
No.
Oh, okay.
We're in the middle of a recording. Why would you be?
Oh, okay. I thought I had something really important to say. I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, today we're talking about the Uncanny X-Men. Patrick.
Yeah.
Can I do you a big favor?
It's about time.
I'm going to read you all about a little comic book called Uncanny X-Men number 196. What was that?
What happened?
That was it's a comic book called What Was That?
What?
That's the comic book it's called. What was that? Writer Chris Claremont.
Are you okay?
Artists John Romita Jr. and Dan Green. Colorist Glenn Oliver. Letterer Tom Orzechowski. Editor Ann Nocenti. And editor-in-chief James Wilson.
Huh.
1789 to 1798. Release date May 7th, 1985. Cover date August 1985. We open on a panicked Xavier, mid-lecture, having just received a psychic flash from one of the attendees. They're gonna murder someone. But who is the killer? And who are they going to kill? He can't probe any further, unfortunately, because in his weakened state, he's been taking drugs to mute the thoughts of others that he can no longer screen out.
He's on drugs.
What drugs is he on?
If you need to silence other people's voices, like if you just need to not hear what the people around you are saying, that's got to be a pretty strong hallucinogenic, right?
That's what either a strong hallucinogenic, or he's got to not care so much about how bad, like how much it hurts to have people's thoughts invading his brain. So it's an opioid. Like it's one of the two.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. What's the happy medium between the two, Matt? Is that like ayahuasca?
I think literally opium, right? Smoking opium is probably the median between
perfect
an opioid and a hallucinogenic, right? Like straight opium. Also, speaking of drugs, there's just students in his class just blasting cigs in the middle of class.
Yeah, they are. It's pretty rad.
They're just smoking.
And they're just sitting there. He gets this flash of a thought that's like, all right, we're ready. We're going to kill him tonight. And he just stops his lecture. He's just staring at all of his lectures like they just murdered someone, or like they just announced they're going to murder someone.
They're doing like the he's looking left, he's looking right, like with his eyes narrowed.
It's like 6 panels.
And all the kids look vaguely menacing. But he's on drugs, so of course they do.
Right, he's on opium.
It's like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas kind of movie. So he's gonna send the X-Men out to hunt for the potential killer.
This is kind of below them.
He's like, I can't do anything about this, so I'm going to have them go on just like a wild chase, because I think one of these kids is up to some murderous mischief.
Yeah, I've got a murder mystery for you.
So
we just saved the universe.
In a brief and pretty early interlude, we find Aurora in the plains of the Serengeti, trying to find herself. I found you. You're right there. You're right there.
You found her, but she can't find herself.
Oh, okay. She comes across what you've written as a majestic lion. This is one of the most pathetic looking lions I've ever seen. What's up with this lion, man?
It is not a great... It looks like, you know, when you go, like, you see pictures of lions in the wild and they're like big and mighty, and then you go to the zoo and you see them and they're like sad and pretty scrawny and like
So this
kind of
is one of
soft.
yeah.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
But it's got a big white mane.
It looks like they drew like a panther. and then they got the draft back. And then they were like, hey, script said lion. And like, fuck. And then they they erased some lines and drew a mane around its head.
Yeah.
So she comes across a majestic lion that she sees some of herself in before seeing it get shot by poachers and then being shot herself in the fucking head.
Yeah.
She gets shot in that, and we can see from this
She's dead.
first panel. No, we can see very obviously, and we've been reading the X-Men. We know this is it just grazed my skull.
Glancing blow off her forehead.
And you can see it from they make it clear in the image. And it's like, come on, stop doing, you really have to stop doing this. This is...
Oh, thank God it bounced off the tense skin of my temple.
Thank God I was clenching my jaw at that moment. Otherwise, it would have gone straight into my brain. Yeah, she's dead. We see those damn racist twins she beat up, I guess, an issue or two ago, grinning smugly with a rifle in their hands.
Ugh, I hate these guys already.
But you gotta admit, they're very hot. They remind me of the two characters in Cruel Intentions.
Sure. I can see that.
As the X-Men talk through their plan to catch a murderer, Rachel suddenly recognizes a mysterious psychic presence in the restaurant who's struggling to act human as he orders a sandwich. It's the Just Beyonder stuff. He's here, but none of the X-Men believe her stupid. Also, Kurt meets with Father Bowen!
Father Bowen is back.
Father Bowen! I love to see this
keeps
man.
Popping up.
Yeah, Kurt meets with him because the Beyonder has him freaking out about his Catholicism. He's kind of like... It's Claremont wringing everything he can out of the Beyonder, while also kind of showing how dumb this Beyonder story is, right? Like, by being smart about the Beyonder, he's telling us, the reader, the Beyonder stuff is stupid.
He's doing his best to actually integrate it, but clearly because he was told to plug this character in.
And it's Kurt saying, okay, all right, I believe in God, but this guy is God. And if he's not God, he's more powerful than God because he can make and control and create and destroy the universe.
Right.
The universe.
And if he is God, he sucks.
If he is God, he sucks. And if he's not God, then what's the point of God? And that's a really smart point that somebody should have brought up to Jim Dupid before he fucking wrote Secret Wars 2 so that he just doesn't do it. Because it's ridiculous, right? It is. I don't know if this is his intention or not, but it's pretty Chris Claremont explaining pretty succinctly why this Beyonder stuff is clearly an ego project that breaks the reality of the Marvel universe. Nothing would ever make sense in the Marvel universe again if this character existed.
Yeah.
Kurt Rupert. breaks Secret Wars 2 wide open. Also, we've got another instance of Claremont misusing the term organic.
But he doesn't know what it means, right?
He doesn't know what it means.
The Beyonder's looking at a sandwich and says it's made of both organic and inorganic material, and they're consuming it.
Right. Okay.
He doesn't know what a sandwich is.
There's inorganic material in a sandwich. There is water and salt and fucking the trace minerals that are in anything. If the Beyonder could see the molecular structure of everything, he's seeing water, salt, and minerals in literally everything. It wouldn't be worth commenting on. Everything else in a sandwich is organic.
What was the last? Was it wood?
He said wood was inorganic. He doesn't understand what it means.
He could be talking. There's a toothpick in the sandwich.
But you don't eat that.
If you think...
And wait, a toothpick's organic! Could be one of those plastic toothpicks I get.
Maybe it's a rock sandwich.
Yeah, we don't know what the X-Men really eat. All right, that night, we see some goons planting a device in a locked Columbia University office. The mutie's as good as dead, they say as they activate. Well, they've kind of got a greaser. So like, the mutie is as good as dead.
That mutie's as good as dead.
It's so funny because, all right, they're clearly, if they're in Xavier's class, they're taking an advanced genetics course.
Right?
And yet they're talking like a bunch of greasers. Like, hey, you guys. Hey, well, we got to kill these muties, see?
Come on. We got an anti-psychic device here. You got to be careful.
Do you squares remember which locus on the friggin' genetic strand expresses CYPD26 asked for allele? If not, I'll cream yous.
That was impressive.
Meanwhile, the X-Men stand around wondering where the mysterious killer could be.
Because in what way are they qualified?
Yeah, we don't know where to look.
Killer.
We don't have any way of doing this. Rachel and Rogue find a boy being mugged, but after rescuing him, find out that he loves Nimrod and hates mutants.
Yeah.
Dang it, we shouldn't have saved this guy. It's either here or a little bit later where somebody's like, Rachel threw her psychic chakram at somebody. And
yes.
SHOCK, like shock.
Shock
like
ram.
Yeah, like an electric shock and then ram. That's nothing.
I was just reading that as like, that's what they're calling psychic bolts now.
Shock
a ram that shocks you.
There is a weapon called a chakram or chakram, like CHAKRAM, that is like a circular
it's like
sort
a
of
nunchuck.
boomerang thing.
Oh.
But like, what the... what is he... Is that what he's trying to say? Anyway. Kitty checks the college and, despite dealing with more stupid Beyonder stuff, actually finds the killers!
How... Why is she the only one checking the college?
Everyone else is just sitting outside of the steps smoking.
Yeah. She's like, have we tried inside? Have we tried going inside?
Kitty tries smoking a cigar in this issue.
Yeah, she doesn't like it, though.
No,
I think she inhales, which is...
Yeah, I think she inhales
You're not supposed to do that.
There's several puffs, so she must inhale a couple times, too.
She looks like Pinocchio.
So, they're in the science lab talking about crime. When Kitty notices them, they mace and chloroform her. Do you know that chloroform doesn't make people pass out?
You told me this, that it's not the chemical, it's just, it shuts off, it stops the oxygen from going in.
Yeah, it helps block the oxygen. So it's just, you have to hold chloroform over somebody's face long enough for them to be deprived of oxygen. Like, you would do this, it would do the same thing if you just like...
choking somebody out.
Yeah, if you just held their nose and mouth closed. That'll save you guys on your chloroform bills.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you use, you're not going to knock them out any quicker.
You could probably use water, too. That would work just fine, too.
She also, right before she gets maced, she does use a racial slur here. She does the old, like, hey, don't call me a mutie. God. What if I called you this racial slur that would apply to you?
She says her favorite word. Is this the second time?
It's the N-word. It is the second time she said the N-word.
I wasn't sure if it was 2 or 3, but yeah.
Come on,
Stop
man. Stop
doing that. Peter, Logan, and Rogue sit just outside talking about how rough the anti-mutant sentiment has gotten lately. Yeah. I think that is the one thread that carries through all these issues. Like, as he's dumping out his notebook, still written at the top of the page is anti-mutant sentiment growing.
Yes, yeah.
Rachel, Magneto, and Xavier all walk into Xavier's office as Rachel explains that she's been seeing the Beyonder. In fact, he's in the room with us right now. She tries to connect with them psychically to show them the present she's seeing, but instead, this triggers the device planted on Xavier's desk. A Psy Scream.
Psy Scream.
Designed to amplify...
You scream, I scream. We all scream for Psy Scream.
It's designed to amplify any psychic energy back at its source, magnified by 100. What?
Pretty advanced stuff.
So not only
for genetics students.
Oh my god, she screams and lets out a psychic explosion of energy, blowing up the office and sending Xavier and Magneto out into the eyesight of the rest of the team. Rachel goes mad. She suddenly transforms her clothing and her face to that of her hound form and tracks down Kitty as she's being strangled by the criminals. Kitty's being strangled by the criminals, not Rachel.
Here's a question about that. When she was a hound, whenever she flashes back to her past, which is our future,
yeah,
black lines appear on her face. It looks like almost like tiger stripes coming in.
Yes.
Is that just there all the time? And is she like psychically covering it up as she walks around? Because they come back right here.
Yes, that is
like,
correct.
Oh shit. Okay.
She is in at all times. She is. She hasn't said. I think she said this explicitly, right?
I don't think so.
At all times, she is projecting her
a normal face
because she's so ashamed of. She doesn't want anyone to know about the hound stuff.
Yeesh. Okay.
She lets out another explosion deliberately this time and sends the advanced genetics thugs, flying.
Rachel does.
Yeah, once she
tries to just fucking blowing shit up.
She's going a little nuts here. One tries to shoot her, but she sends the bullet back at him full speed. It's only stopped from going through his forehead by Magneto, who is wrestling with Rachel's power for control of the bullet.
Ooh.
He opines on his new philosophy of not killing everyone, and Rachel eventually relents. They get the heck out of there before the police arrive, and then we get 4 more panels of the Beyonder recapping what just happened. Cool.
So the last 4 panels are it's the Beyonder just being like, oh, it seems to me like Magneto has turned a new leaf because he just said these things, and then he says it over again. There's also a clear change in lettering as soon as he takes over. Like, his first word bubble is definitely Tom Orzechowski's very familiar lettering, and then the second word bubble attached to that first one is a whole new letter. Clearly
Dim Stupid rewrote this.
Yeah, Claremont's words weren't doing the trick.
Yeah. Anyway, the end.
One funny moment that was towards the beginning here, right? Xavier knows that there's a killer and he's like, oh, I got to tell the X-Men. And then we flash to something else. We flash back to the X-Men, and Kitty is reading a letter from Aurora. She's like, oh, she really likes your new haircut, and she wishes you well in your whatever you're doing. And the professor has to be like, Kitty, this is not the time for it. This is a briefing. And then he turns to the rest of the group and says, and so then I think that we should check the dormitories or whatever. Like, it wasn't just in the middle of a meeting. It was mid-plan. Yeah. She was like, oh, by the way, real quick, got a letter from Laura.
She just starts, I imagine she just starts reading out loud from it. Like, not even just like preface the interruption. Professor X is like, so I got a sense that somebody was going to murder somebody, and I haven't been able to track them down. And she's like, Aurora said.
Aurora's in East Africa.
Magneto and Lee Forrester are there, and I imagine if you were just reading the X-Men, right? If you were reading X-Men 195 and then you went and picked up 196, you'd be like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Why is Magneto here? And why is he with Lee Forrester?
Oh, right. All the other Magneto stuff we've seen has been going on in New Mutants.
It's been going on in New Mutants, and then his switch happens in Secret Wars. Yeah, super weird shit.
So weird. That's so funny.
Also, this issue ends, the Magneto Rachel showdown ends with one of my least favorite tropes. And I know I've said this about other tropes. I guess I'm not a fan of tropey writing. One of my least favorite tropes in any storytelling, which is the what are you waiting for? Just do it. If you're gonna kill me, then kill me. And then like leaning their head into the gun kind of thing. Magneto does that. He's like, oh, fine. If you want to
kill him so bad, go ahead and go ahead. I'm not even fighting you anymore.
Do it. Fine. You go ahead. And then of course she drops it and then her shoulders slink. And it's like,
yeah.
I fucking hate that. I hate it. It happens so often in storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's always like,
in real life, that person will shoot you.
We'll do it. Yeah, that's the whole point. You had to stop them because they were about to do it, right? Like,
why don't we continue our podcast with Uncanny X-Men number 197?
All right, do it. You won't do it.
Fuck. Episode over. To save Arcade?
There's a question mark, then an exclamation point, then another question mark.
Arcade? Chris Claremont, writer, John Romita Jr., and Dan Green, artists. Tom Orzechowski, letterer, Glynis Oliver, colorist, Ann Nocenti, editor, and James Dean, editor-in-chief.
Interesting.
It's the sausage one, though, not the actor.
Oh, okay. They got him.
Release date June 11th, 1985. Cover date September 1985. Aboard a Shi'ar cruiser out in space.
What?
Colossus bursts in on Peter Rasputin sitting on Kitty Pryde's bed. Turns out this Peter is an imposter, and so is Kitty, revealing herself to be a brood queen.
What?
She chases Colossus out of the room to where Zaji is waiting.
What?
Until she turns into a walking corpse.
What?
Suddenly back on the Ust-Ordinsky Collective, that's his home, you remember, he rushes to save his little sister from a tractor, only to see little Ilyana Rasputin transform into a demon.
God, I'm losing my freaking mind here.
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know what's happening.
Each one of them blames Peter for their suffering. They reach out to him, and he wakes up.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't do that to me, dude. Don't do that to me. I was already in the middle of calling 911. Hold on.
Everything's
Sorry. False alarm. No, please. No, you don't have
Colossus is okay.
I think they're going to send somebody just to make sure.
Okay. We can
break.
explain it to him when they get here.
Okay.
Peter ruins another pair of pajamas as he steals up in a panic.
Yeah, again.
But wait, he's not in his bed.
What? Don't do this to me again, Ben!
And why is Kitty sleeping in a bed next to him?
I heard him calling again.
Where are they? Put down the phone. Because Matt, they're in Murder World, of course.
Damn it.
We learn as Arcade bursts through the door.
Skip to the next issue. I'm done. Let's skip it.
You hate this guy so much. In Anchorage, Alaska, Scott Summers gets ready to leave, responding to a summons from Moira McTaggart.
What? Oh, wait, no. That's
Remember
normal.
her?
That's all normal. Yeah.
There's a touching scene where Madeline reminds him of his duties to her and their unborn child, and they embrace while he tells her how scared this makes him.
Yeah, it's really sweet. She's kind of just like, hey, man, you're not just an X-Man anymore. Now you're a husband and a father. She's like, you can't just go running off all the time. I know you have like your duties, but you also have duties to us. And he's like, I know. He's like, I know. I'm scared of this, but I'm here for you. So, Pat, I know you get mad at me when I do this, but it just made me think a really bad thing for Marvel Comics would be to have then Scott completely step out of character and abandon his family.
Yeah,
within the next year. That wouldn't happen because that'd be stupid.
We'll find out later that he just brings her along. That's his answer to the immediate situation. She just hangs out in the Xavier mansion completely alone.
Well, because, again, what they're not going to do is have Scott Summers abandon his family to go be a superhero again and just completely abandon them totally and completely abandon them.
Matt, just because I feel like I have to warn you once in a while, you're getting into really obvious territory again, where you're just saying.
You get so mad at me for doing this, but it's just like, I want to, I'm trying to teach our listeners a little something about the mechanics of storytelling.
Yeah, we know. Save it for your masterclass.
You know, but all right. Yeah. Let's keep moving.
Back at Arcades, he explains to Colossus and Kitty over breakfast that Dr. Doom has taken a hit out on him.
Again, we did this. We did this. We fucking did this.
No, Matt, he was in business with Dr. Doom before.
And then he like insulted him, so Dr. Doom.
And then he insulted him and I think double-crossed him. Yeah. But
we mostly did this. We just mostly did this story.
Yeah, we did most of this. This is a shorter version of what we did before. While showing them all his X-Men robots, he demands their help, threatening their loved ones if they don't. Kitty decides they'll play along until they see what's really going on.
Okay.
After a brief interlude with Nimrod and Jamie Rodriguez, where some dudes try to rob a diner and Nimrod vaporizes them. Standard stuff.
Yeah, it's the Pulp Fiction scene.
We cut to
a wallet that says "bad motherfucker."
It really is. We cut to a simulation of 1940s Manhattan. Apparently, Doom is somewhere in Murder World, and Kitty and Colossus have to get to him before he gets to Arcade. With the help of an army of X-Men robots, they fight a huge battle against a train that transforms into a robot dinosaur and a bunch of fighter jets.
I don't care.
All the X-Men robots die in the battle, leaving Colossus to brood to Kitty about whether or not he was worthy of Zaji's sacrifice.
Oh, it's cool. All right. It ends in an emotional denouement about something I don't care about.
Then Dr. Doom swoops in one of those jets and crashes into a nearby building.
It's like fucking Darth Vader and the TIE Fighter.
It looks exactly like that. Yes. I think it's an homage.
Yeah.
Colossus fastball specials Kitty up to the building and rushes after her.
Okay.
She was not ready for it.
You go first.
When he arrives, he finds her dead on the ground.
That's your fault, man.
And Dr. Doom holding Arcade by the lapels. Suddenly, though, Doom short circuits and falls as the real Kitty Pryde phases through him.
What?
Turns out Doom was a robot.
What?
And so was Kitty. She swapped herself out with one of the X-Men robots at the very beginning so she could stay near Arcade.
Oh, okay. All right.
She didn't tell Peter because she wanted it to seem genuine and also test his feelings for her.
What? I'm calling again. But that one's real.
For Arcade's part, turns out this was all a game he and Miss Locke were playing. She was in the Doom robot trying to kill Arcade for his birthday. Once again, they decide for some reason they can't call the police, so Arcade just drops them off back at the mansion.
Every single time Arcade does this, no matter how many witnesses they have, no matter if they know where he is and where his murder world is, and the fact that he's an international assassin who must be on an FBI wanted list, and they're superheroes with ties to S.H.I.E.L.D. every single time. They're like, oh man, he's got us again. Nothing we can do.
It would compromise their identities, Matt. As X-Men.
No, it wouldn't. You just don't go back to the mansion. You just say, "Hey, I'm Shadowcat. This is Colossus. We know where the international assassin Arcade is hiding." And they're like, and if the police are like, "We don't have anything about an international assassin named Arcade," you go to Nick Fury and say, "Hey, we promise this guy's an international assassin. Just go search his fucking warehouse. He's got weapons everywhere and probably dead bodies."
That's true. They do know Nick Fury. And it's not like they're big rule of law fans.
God
Epilogue.
My blood pressure, Pat.
Epilogue, Matt.
Ooh, cool.
Storm wakes up in the Serengeti. Apparently, the bullet just grazed off her skull.
Fuck you. This issue sucks.
I would rather he just have her appear alive again than say the bullet grazed me. Some buzzards descend on her body and she springs awake, fending them off. To be continued.
This is the worst issue of X-Men we have read since the 1960s.
That can't be true. It was pretty strange, but
It was
there's also
all right. Let's list. Arcade sucks. Zaji sucks. X-Men. Doctor Doom is cool, but in the X-Men, Doctor Doom sucks.
And it wasn't actually Doctor Doom. It was
Yeah.
Arcade's assistant dressed as Doctor Doom.
Yeah, this Cyclops thing is a good scene until we get until a couple months from now when we'll look back on this scene and fucking cringe. Rip off of Pulp Fiction. Okay, that was cool.
They've already kind of done this issue before.
They've done this issue before. Storm gets it just grazes her skull. All of this sucks so bad. This is the worst instincts of Claremont all wrapped up together.
It's worth mentioning, it happens in every issue, but it is worth mentioning. They also touch on anti-mutant sentiment and how it's growing.
Yeah, like barely, but yes, they do. A very, very little bit.
Let's move on to a good issue, Matt. Do you want to read me?
Uncanny X-Men number 198.
Yes.
Lifedeath II. Good start. From the Heart of Darkness. Oh, bad.
Oh, no.
Bad start. Oh, no. I guess we're going to, quote, deepest, darkest Africa today. Ugh. We will have a lot to say about this.
Let's get this out of the way up top. It is East Africa. That's where our story takes place. And it is the Marvel Africa that we've come to know and kind of despise.
Yes.
Not despise Africa, despising the way Marvel treats it.
It is the Africa as a monolith. Africa is a country and a singular culture. And it is not to say I want to be careful to say this version of Africa is real. It exists. Yes. There are villages like this. There are areas of Africa like this. But in the Marvel universe, all of Africa is a big desert with plains and poor people in a village that used to be farming and hold tight to their cultural heritage and their weird rituals. While
and they're all very close to the earth and have special bonds to nature and
yes, and they live in a place called
have some sort of mysticism.
They live in a place called East Africa.
East Africa, which is an incredibly diverse chunk of Africa, right? Mm-hmm. There's no like pastiche that is just East Africa.
Yes, correct. I mean, because you have farmland, you have coastal regions, you have urban centers, you have desert, you have plains, you have forest. Literally everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will get more into this, but it is worth saying that right up top. And that is why we rolled our eyes at Heart of Darkness, because Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness was a big part of whether or not you think it's a incredible literary work. I'm not here to argue that one way or another. It was a big part of why people paint Africa with this broad brush.
Yeah. Of like a land of savages.
And it's also even the wording, Heart of Darkness, comes from this idea where this was a colonial term, deepest, quote, deepest, darkest Africa, which meant, number one, it is strange and mysterious, and number two, the people have dark skin. And not everybody in Africa has dark skin. All right, we'll keep moving. Let's keep moving. All right. Produced by Chris Claremont and Barry Windsor-Smith, Pat.
Hell yeah, Barry Windsor-Smith.
He's back. It's a true sequel.
What a fucking British name.
Oh, it's me, Barry Windsor-Smith. Of the House of the Windsor-Smiths.
Is that a British accent?
That's a British accent. That is the accent of a man who's called Windsor-Smith. Boo, it's me, Windsor-Smith. Tom Orzechowski is the letterer. Ann Nocenti is the editor. And John Blair is the editor-in-chief. Release date, July 9th, 1985, cover date 1985. Sorry, John Blair, 1790 through 1795. Once upon a time.
He was only 5 years old?
I don't know. I don't know why I said that, Pat. I don't know what those dates refer to, and I don't know why I said that. Once upon a time, there was a woman who could fly. Now I walk just like plain folks. Remember, that was the opening to Lifedeath II. Once upon a time, there was a woman who could fly.
Once upon a time, there was a woman who could fly.
And then Forge told her, now you have to walk just like plain folk at one point in that issue. And this is Storm saying this. She's narrating now.
Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm. Aurora begins the issue with this while she treks through a sandstorm in a generic desert in East Africa. I do later, we'll get into it. I try to pinpoint exactly where she is, but
it's impossible.
It's a fictional land. We'll talk about it. She's been wandering aimlessly and delirious, recovering from a gunshot to the head and suffering from a concussion, thirst, and exhaustion. She hallucinates herself with her powers restored, then in the arms of Forge, before finding herself literally fighting a pit viper. She escapes and crawls into a cave, unsure if she was bit, but sure that she will die quickly if she was. In the cave, she finds the X-Men that she left behind, including Jean. She damns them for taking her from her home and ultimately delivering her this fate before begging Jean's forgiveness for letting her die. Wolverine offers to kill her if she's so afraid of living, but she's not afraid. Xavier tells her that she needed to leave home to grow up and that she would have perished with this land if she hadn't. She tries to object, but suddenly the X-Men are gone and Storm wakes to find that she's survived to the next morning.
Yay.
As she treks on, she finds a real overturned bus with a lone survivor.
Yeah.
A pregnant woman named Shawnee who is trying to return to her rural village after having been away so long in the city. She loves the city life, but the man she loved left, and there's little work in the city. For the baby, she's returning home. Oh. They journey together, Storm reflecting on how her journey parallels Shawnee's, ultimately returning to her homeland for an unexpected new chapter in her life. She thinks about how little she appreciated the gifts she had until they were gone and wonders if she would have survived in Shawnee's shoes. But when they arrive at the village, it's not the lush green agricultural climate Shawnee had described. Broken farming equipment is strewn about the desert landscape, with one small green area in the center with a handful of houses. This scene is really cool. Looking at this plow is like they are small, staring up at this almost unknowable machine, like a Jack Kirby scene.
Yeah, it's hulking. We should mention Barry Windsor-Smith is doing his own inks here, and he is taking his time with it. Like, it is extremely detailed and really well done, on top of just being like his signature larger than life style.
Yeah. They approach the village and Shawnee reunites with her parents and the village leader Minari. M-J-N-A-R-I. Minari.
Sure.
All of whom are being very solemn. They offer food and water, but Storm passes out before she can accept the offer. Oh. She wakes in a tent with Minari, who has been tending to her injuries, and informs her that Shawnee demands her presence as she gives birth. Storm scoffs she says, "Ew." No, she doesn't. Storm scoffs at the ritual dancers outside, not understanding why she must act as a midwife. But Minari reminds her that here, this is the best they have. Trying to reach the nearest hospital would be useless. Shawnee wouldn't survive the trip. They don't have the transportation.
Yeah. So this is notable, and I know there's a lot more to talk about here.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm just going, but yeah.
Already, but it is just, this moment is notable because they're putting ritual dancers in, but they're also acknowledging that. They're not saying like, oh, we are hoping magic will make her well. They're saying like, what else can we do? We have a dance that gives us hope, and that's the best that we have.
They're putting this paternalistic attitude into the mouth of Storm. which I think is significant, where she's like, maybe try a hospital, please. And they're like, you fucking think we haven't thought of that, dude?
Yeah.
We don't have a way of getting to the hospital. This is, in some ways, this is them trying to cope. This is them trying to cope with the fact that this woman will probably die, and being able to tell themselves, like, we didn't do nothing, number one, and number two, this will keep people, this might keep people calm while a woman dies in front of them. Aurora does her best to comfort Shawnee, and despite doubting her own skills as a midwife, manages to deliver the baby in a beautiful wordless page that crosscuts the delivery with the intense dance happening outside.
It really is beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. It's so full of action, and also, like, I don't know, it has the vibe of welcoming life is how I can describe it.
Yeah. We don't say this very often because we'd be out of a job, but a job. Imagine this being our job. But this is an issue you should read, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Life, Death, and then Life, Death 2.
Mm-hmm. But the baby's not breathing. Aurora performs CPR. She performs adult CPR.
Yeah, I don't think that's how you give a newborn CPR, but
she performs CPR. The baby lets out a cry and the village celebrates.
Oh.
But the celebration quickly turns solemn as Minari parts the crowd to walk out into the wilderness by himself. Storm senses what's going on, follows to plead with him not to kill himself.
What?
Minari explains Outlanders came through when he was young, promising to turn their modest village into a lush paradise with modern farming technology. Things went well for a while. The village thrived and the area turned green, but overproduction quickly eroded the soil. Their livestock grazed more than they could afford, and the wind swept everything away. Suddenly, they were back in the desert, even worse off than they had been before. They'd been given the technology, but not the means to use it sustainably, and saw their numbers fall quickly as a result. The village went on producing just enough for the surviving members to live, which meant that with every new birth meant someone was missing food. Eventually, the village decided this was the only way forward. With honor, one member must go off to die once the new child arrives. Oof. They need to do this to maintain balance until they can grow their village with the care and experience it needs. Minari literally wills himself to death. I Googled, is this possible? And Google was like, if you're feeling suicidal, please call this. But you really can't. Like, you can over a long period of time, but you can't just be. Or if you're already injured,
sit
or sick,
down on the top of a hill and say, "All right, time to die,
death time."
Well, it's about time we get dying.
Hitting that fiery trail. Minari wills himself to death, and Storm reflects on what this means as another parallel for her journey. She can move forward, understanding that everything she had to this point was a privilege. She wasn't cast out of the X-Men or mutanthood just to die, but in order to stop that cycle, she needs to be the bridge between her old life and her new one, making sure it's handled with the same care and experience it needs. The end. All right, so we read that one through pretty straight because this definitely needs analysis.
Yes. And it's worth mentioning that if you're going to read Life, Death, and then Life, Death 2, you should do what we did and read the Imperfect Storm essays by Osvaldo Oyola. Is that his name?
Yes, Osvaldo Oyola, from his blog, themiddlespaces.com. He's got, these essays, Imperfect Storm, where he sort of argues that this is all, not only, first he talks about the flaws of a bunch of white writers in the 80s writing black characters and writing about Africa, and he echoes a lot of the things that we've said about it. He also talks about how he uses a really interesting term towards the end, which he says, Life, Death is another one of those make-do moments where even in admiring the craft of its formal elements, you can't help but wonder if orientation towards the text content always served dubious hierarchies. What he's saying is you have colonially benefiting white men writing about Africa. And even if this has a lot of depth and cultural awareness, it's still not better than Black voices writing about Black issues, because
Right.
it's sort of missing. It's not only is it missing that context, it's also relying on tropes, the deepest, darkest Africa tropes and stuff.
Yeah, it's got that sort of mystic Orientalism attitude towards it that just comes naturally in writing about a culture that you don't fully understand.
Exactly. And Claremont is guilty of that with a lot of cultures. But it is like a guy who doesn't know any better trying his best, you know?
Yes.
And I think that is what Osvaldo is saying here, which is interesting. Like these make do moments, I think, was really interesting. So his argument is that this is a parable about colonialism, that Storm is sort of fighting the colonized version of herself.
Yes, that she's both somebody that was, and we've talked about this before, Storm has every single background a Black person can have. She's got a mother who's an Egyptian princess, a father who's like a civil rights activist and journalist in Harlem. She was caught up in a war in Egypt as a child?
I think it was in Egypt, and then she lived in Harlem, then she lived in Egypt, and then she lived in Kenya as a goddess. She was a goddess. She was a thief on the streets. She was a criminal. She was like everything. It's Claremont gets the chance to write one Black character, so he's like, I'm going to put everything Black in it.
Right. So
this is the argument, every Black person
here is that Storm, like a lot of Black people or people from cultures affected by colonialism, has connections to her pre-colonial culture just through cultural traditions, but also has the mindset of someone who has been colonized, being so far removed from it. And Osvaldo, again, it's an incredible essay to read through, but he talks about how that is a common thing for a lot of subjugated cultures in the US and in the world at large.
And he talks about how Black people, this story is, and Storm's story in general, is sort of about a person dealing with those two conflicted identities. I am not opposed to that read at all, but I do think it is worth talking about Storm as a character in her own right, in addition to her as a metaphor. And I think taking this story seriously as just a story about a character in the X-Men named Storm, there's a lot of interesting things to read there too.
Yes. Yeah. She takes a journey here. And again, that same sort of, the larger metaphor applies to her directly as a character as well, because she's between two worlds right now where she lived in Africa. She lived as an X-Man. She's now back in Africa with that experience of having lived in the X-Men's world.
Right. But in addition to that, I guess I'm also saying she's also just got the experience of a woman who had superpowers and doesn't have superpowers anymore.
Yes. There's also a very literal reading of this too,
which I think is important. I think the literal reading works. And I think that is something that we also need to tackle here first. So like, if we take each element of the story as, if we dissect this in a literary criticism way, right? Like each element says something, right? So first she's
what are her symbols?
First she's in the desert. She's suffering from a gunshot. It's sort of her impetus for giving up, right? This is similar to her losing her powers, right? She's like, I've lost what I needed. Or I've lost something that was important to me. I should just give up. I should just lay down and die. It's also her perception of her weakness, right? Like she feels like she's weak without her powers, the same as the gunshots making her feel like, I might as well not even fight this. I'm just going to die.
Right.
So she has to decide, do I keep fighting or do I not? And then, of course, that leads to her fight with nature. There's a sandstorm, and then she gets bit by a snake, or she thinks she might have gotten bit by a snake.
Yeah.
Which is
The fight with the snake is pretty literal for a metaphor of her battle with nature.
And I mean, so is the sandstorm, because she says out loud, she's like, if I had my powers, I would be able to make this go away. Yes, Storm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We would have gotten it had you not
right
said
out
that.
front for us.
But it is.
She also.
It is like, this is something I can't control. Yeah. Go ahead.
She also, and this is worth mentioning for the character development side of it, but she wrestles with the snake, she throws it away, she goes to the cave, she doesn't die, she comes back out, she sees the snake again, and instead of fighting it, she wills it to back down. She gives it a look and is like, hey, we understand each other, we're both beings of nature. It's a little ridiculous, but also it is her finding that first leg up that she needs.
Yeah, I think so, and I think, and it's a he's a threshold guardian, right? In the
Joseph Campbell.
Yeah, in the Joseph Campbell sense, he's the snake's a threshold guardian, right? She has to overcome this struggle both within herself and obviously externally
and physically, yeah,
before she can leave the cave, right? Like that's pretty direct, right?
Yeah.
So then the X-Men appear to her in the cave. This is her reminder that all of this was a choice. She chose to leave Africa to make friends. It's not like all of this was a cruel bit of fate that happened to her. It's a trade-off. Right. I know somebody, I won't get any more specific than that, but I know somebody who has a very large family that is often upset because they're like, it's always something. It's always one thing after another. You know, somebody's always dying, or somebody's going to jail, or somebody's got a health problem, or somebody's having a falling out with their parents or whatever. And I always remind her, like, hey, that's the other side of the coin of having that much like love in your life, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here with Storm, right? The other side of the coin, she chose to leave Africa, and it was worth that. Or that's the question she has to ask herself. Were these people worth it? Were the experiences she had in the US and the rest of the world, I guess, were the friends she made, were the lives she saved, were they all worth the suffering she's gone through? Does she still agree with that choice? Would her life be better if she was still a goddess in Africa who had her powers but never met Wolverine?
Right.
Would your life have been better if you never met Wolverine, Pat?
If I had the opportunity to meet Wolverine and turned it down.
I know. Yeah. She chose to put herself in danger, right? Because loving and being loved was worth that. This isn't a cruel thing that happened to her, this cruel turn of fate. It's a trade-off for the things that she chose because they make her life better. And this is what she hasn't realized this by the time she leaves the cave, but she's gotten enough motivation that is the sort of elixir she brings to face her threshold guardian, right? She hasn't fully reconciled this, but this is her first taste of that elixir. Like this is what you need to move forward.
Yeah, this meeting with the X-Men takes place between her throwing the Viper and her staring down the Viper.
Yes.
So I guess this is her first leg up, right? As she has an imaginary conversation with the X-Men.
And then she faces the
kind
Viper.
Kind of accepts some things. Yeah.
The way you said. So then she goes and she sees the bus crash. She meets Shawnee, and Shawnee has a will to self-motivate. Not only is Shawnee trying to survive this bus crash where everybody died in order to save the life of her baby, Shawnee, unlike Storm, chose to leave her village and said, you know what, I want to go see the world, and got on a bus herself and did it. Storm didn't. She waited in her comfy shrine in Kenya until Professor Xavier came along and said, hey, you should leave and come with me. And she said, well, okay, right? Like that's how she represents it sort of in this dialogue. Like, I didn't motivate myself. I didn't do anything. Xavier came and gave me an option, and I just said, okay.
And also, Shawnee went to the big city. She loved her life there, but once again chose to come back.
Uh-huh.
And it's circumstance, right? The father of her child disappeared, and then she had some financial issues. She had to go back home, but it's not.
She doesn't seem bitter about it.
Exactly, because she said, like, hey, I could try to make it in the city where I love things, or I could go back to where I have some security.
Right. So Storm's looking at this and it's like, this is the person I want to be. I wish I was more like Shawnee. And also asking herself sort of this question, like, why is she like that? Why is she like that and I'm not?
Yeah.
What is it that she's figured out that I haven't? And the rest of this issue will kind of be her wrestling with that question in a way. Then they see the plows, they see the village. That all I think is part of the colonial metaphor. I'm maybe you can help here. I'm having trouble trying to.
I think this is where the story kind of shifts. There's a speech with Minari about making that connection between her two selves, and
Right.
the idea, like him describing how their village was colonized and slowly destroyed,
Mm-hmm.
gives her, like, he says out loud that she, and this is Oyala's point too, that
Right.
she has to be that bridge between the pre-colonial Africa and the post-colonial world, because she's of both worlds. The other thing I think is that this is where Claremont said, like, hey, I want to be clear, this is a story about the harm of colonialism.
Okay.
And so he just has Minari tell the story about a group of people who came through, promised them the world, but didn't actually give them the equipment to or gave them the equipment, didn't give them the know-how to be successful with it.
He does talk about this idea of desertification, and I think that's worth talking about briefly too, even though that's like getting away from the metaphor and into the more literalism of it.
Yeah.
Is one of the things. This also happened in the American West. You know, people say like the plow broke the American plains, right? Because they were
the old Dust Bowl.
But the thing is, America knows this because we already experienced it in the early 1900s. So if they did this, which they did,
mm-hmm.
These people fucking knew. We know better. We know better by now. Right. This was done on purpose as a short grift.
Right, because the other thing that the comic doesn't mention here is the food that they were making wasn't for their village. It was shipped out as soon as they made it. Like
they can't afford the food that they themselves grow. And this still happens all over the world.
Worldwide scam.
Yes, is that there's all sorts of places that are told like, hey, farm, and this happens. I mean, South America is probably where this happens the most these days in various countries in South America. People are told, and middle USA, the Midwest in the USA, is like, hey, the way to bring prosperity to your area is to use all this arable farmland, right? To use all your farmland. It'll bring jobs to the area. It'll bring economy, bring prosperity. And then these big corporations that actually own the farms pay the workers less because they need to make a profit. They pay the workers less than they would need to afford the food that they are growing. So the food that they're growing gets shipped. This is like the potato famine was constructed. The Irish potato famine. Here's a good example. There were other foods being grown in Ireland than potatoes, but the only food that the Irish could afford were the potatoes. When the potatoes started dying, the cheap food went away, and they were too poor to afford all the other food that they were producing that was immediately getting shipped to other countries. And that's why the Irish potato famine happened, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people died. This has happened so many places in the world. Anyway, That's just a little socioeconomic rant. It's touched on here, but it's not part of the metaphor.
Right.
Then it's through the birth of this child, right, where Storm sees what Shawnee was making herself live for, right? And this is where she realizes, hey, being Storm, being in the X-Men, being me, the decisions I've made, they were worth it. And I want to live life. I want to go back to living life. I can't give up. I can't give up like this woman didn't give up. And because she didn't give up, she created something beautiful, just like I was doing until I ran away.
And then Ynnari, in seemingly giving up, like willing himself to die to save his village, gives her another perspective on giving up too, which I think is cool, of just like, hey, I could give up now and have absolutely no purpose, or if I'm going to give up, I could find a way to at least make it useful,
mean something. Yeah. There's another thread here, which is Storm's emotions, right? Like, this is the other thing we've been following, is that because she controls the weather, she always felt like she had to contain her emotions, because if she gets too emotional, she could cause like a big fucking hurricane or whatever and kill everybody.
Right.
It's never happened, but she's afraid of this thing happening. I think there's a metaphor also here to the way that both women and Black people are sort of obligated to be the best versions of themselves at all times.
Yes, always emotionally under control, because the slightest deviation is going to get categorized.
Yes, exactly, and blown up as if like, oh, you're just an angry this person, or you're just an emotional woman, or you're just an angry insert race here.
Yeah.
And so this is her experience living this is self-colonizing, right? This is what people talk about when they talk about self-colonizing, right? Is disavowing your humanity to fit with the white Western expectations on you because of your race or your culture or whatever. And this is what she's been trying to overcome, right? I do need to be a human. I do need to have emotions. I need to be Aurora Monroe. I'm not just Storm. And I can be that with my friends back home and not just like be here to die. All right. Do you have anything else to say about these metaphors? Because I do want to get into the anthropology of this just a little bit, because it's fun.
No. You go. You are on a roll.
Sorry.
And no. I mean that sincerely. But also, we are getting to your bread and butter here. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
I have a literature degree and an anthropology degree, but hey, they're both bachelor's degrees, so I am also totally full of shit. So just keep that in mind. So I wanted to see, like, where is she, right? Where is Storm? She's somewhere in East Africa.
Right.
She was traveling through the Serengeti, so she's on the border of the Serengeti.
Sure.
The people that she interacts with, right? They have ritual scars.
Okay.
Shawnee has a bunch of like a dot pattern on her face.
Right. Yeah.
On her cheeks. And all the men have long lines scarred onto their faces, right? So it's like, I was trying to find where's a place where there are villages in the Serengeti Plains where there was ritual scarification as a custom. And the only place I could find was in Tanzania. I was thinking this has to be Tanzania, because there's just this kind of ritual scarification doesn't really exist in Kenya. She may be with the Warabayeg culture, although by this time they wouldn't have been in the plains. But they do this kind of ritual scarification. It also could be the Maasai culture, but they don't do ritual scarring on women. They only do it on men. Also, the Warabayeg don't have a chief or leader. They have like democratic kind of councils, and this culture has a leader. So this is totally fictional.
Yeah. And also the ritual sacrifice.
Okay.
Is completely removed from this, right?
Yes. So the ritual sacrifice was just nowhere, right? So I was trying to find. I was even going back to my James Frazier, who's a lot of his stuff. He wrote The Golden Bough, and a lot of his stuff is bullshit. But I even went back to my James Frazier to see, like, does anybody do this? Does anybody do this 1 in, 1 out ritual? This balance of nature when a baby's born, the oldest man must die ritual. And they don't. They just don't. They don't do this anywhere. This is nothing. He made this up completely. The closest thing are rituals in like Sweden or India.
Like Midsommar.
The Ärstupa in Midsommar. Yeah, exactly. But that's not like because we need food for the baby. It's usually because like we can't take care of ourselves. We are a drain on the culture. So this happened in some places in India. This happened in some places in Sweden, but it doesn't appear to have ever been a part of any culture in East Africa or Africa as an entire continent, as far as I could tell. Again, even fucking James Frazier, who loved to make up weird rituals about people killing themselves, didn't have anything like this.
Didn't mention anything like that.
Yeah,
Wild.
exactly. But it is worth saying there have been many cultures in every continent, even other species, where a ritual is that an adult must leave the village as soon as they become an adult. And part of that is resource control. But the bigger reason is the incest taboo.
Right. They're not sent off to die. They're sent off to live.
Right. They're sent off to fuck.
Here's a question about the ritual, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
If a new baby is born, one adult leaves so that they have exactly the amount of food that they need. But Shawnee came back and then had a baby.
Somebody else has got to go die. They forgot to kill one of them. I don't know if was I saying it correctly? The Wabarabe egg.
There you have it, folks.
Again, seriously, it's just Claremont and Windsor-Smith making shit up. But if we're taking it seriously, there are some cultures that, if you're trying to place the X-Men in the real world, you could be like, okay, this is where Storm could be, but they don't. None quite fit.
So overall, they get some things wrong. They have the usual level of Marvel racism, but this is a good story, and like with ultimately a good message about colonialism.
I think so. I think I don't know that Life Death needed a sequel.
Sure.
Like that as a concept is pretty weird, but it's fucking good and it rules. It's a really good story, and it's really touching and has a lot of
and it brings us to the next place in Storm's journey.
Yeah, it's got a lot of depth, and I think that's good job, Claremont.
All right, Matt.
Man, that was a lot. So now let's just take it easy, and nothing else big and emotional is going to happen for the rest of this episode.
Yeah. As we know with the X-Men, once one is really heavy and has a lot of cultural implications, the next one is going to be light, fun. Maybe we'll get some goofy characters.
They'll fight the Hulk,
like Avalanche or Pyro or something stupid.
All right, can't wait.
Here comes, Matt. Uncanny X-Men number 199, The Spiral Path. The Spiral Path. Chris Claremont, writer, John Romita Jr. and Dan Green, artists, Orts and Parker, letterers, Glynis Oliver, colorist and Nocenti editor, and James Franco, editor-in-chief.
They got him.
Canceled.
They got him.
Release date, August 6th, 1985. Cover date, November 1985. Scott Summers is back at the mansion and doing a little workout in the danger room.
He's just looking at stuff. Yeah. I can't stop thinking about this now that Daniel put this in my head. He's just looking at stuff. That's all he's ever doing. He's just looking at things. I looked at that, and I looked at that.
Rachel tries to pull him aside to talk, but Moira gets there first and lets Scott know about Xavier's attack. This is the first time any member of the X-Men, past or present, is learning that Xavier has some sort of injury.
Yeah, they
and
thought
he's
he
been
just
doing opium for the last few weeks.
they thought he just like disappeared for a couple of days and came back really into bondage.
Yeah.
He went on a fuck vacation. Xavier will do that.
Oh, among the Morlocks?
Hey,
It was Callisto that walked him back in.
Freaky deakies need love too, as the immortal Tracy Morgan once said. That's the fictional name, right? Tracy Jordan is the fictional name.
Tracy
Sorry.
Jordan. Tracy Morgan's the real one.
Fuck.
So apparently he's dying, Charles Xavier, not Tracy Morgan. Although no, he's doing
great.
He's back. Apparently Charles is dying.
He's in a show again, right? Sorry, fuck.
Yeah. It's very good. It's
Really?
like it's very 30 Rock reminiscent.
Because it's him and Tina Fey, and who's the other guy that's in it?
Daniel Radcliffe.
That's so wild.
Who's been slumming it in
because he's
television comedies.
Fucking millionaire now. He can do whatever he wants.
It rules that this is what he wants to do. He's like, put me in a show with Tracy Morgan.
He's so cool. All
right. Anyway, apparently Charles is dying, and Moira thinks that it's the reason Magneto was brought to the school to replace him. Needless to say, Scott is pissed.
This guy's been trying to kill Scott his entire life since he was a little child.
Yeah.
This man has been trying to literally murder him and his friends.
Scott remembers the villain.
Yeah.
Cut to Washington, D.C., where Val Cooper arrives home to find Val Cooper sitting on her couch.
What? All right, I'm calling.
No, Matt, surprise. It's Mystique.
Oh, why do they keep doing this to me?
And she's got a proposition. She wants a full pardon for her Brotherhood of Evil Mutants in exchange for their dedicated service to the U.S. government.
Okay.
Val Cooper is intrigued, but demands a trial run. Before she brings the idea to the president, the Brotherhood must capture and arrest Magneto.
Do you feel like at this point, this issue kind of has a Dave Cockrum feel to it? I don't know why I think that, but as I was reading it, I feel like it's got a very Dave Cockrum feel.
Yeah, I can see that. It's got that sort of bounciness to it, sorrowful bounciness.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Maybe that's it. I don't know. So I'll keep that in mind as I flip through the sorrowful bounciness. Huh.
Meanwhile, Rachel Summers wanders upstate New York, stalking the grave and childhood home of Jean Grey.
Creep.
There's another tombstone there. I guess it's the family plot where they have Earl Grey.
Nice.
Very funny.
You're a funny dude.
First, she begins recalling her knowledge of Jean's death in the Dark Phoenix. Then her memories of her mother and father holding her in her own timeline, and later herself as an enslaved mutant hunting hound. Rachel grabs the holoempathic crystal contained. Matt, the holoempathic crystal.
The holoempathic crystal.
Jean's personality.
Here. The holoempathic crystal. We missed you. It's been so long.
It's got her essence inside. So Rachel grabs it and makes a decision. She will reclaim the power of the Phoenix. She will reclaim the name. She will make up for all the sins of her mother and her future. Then she passes out and breaks the crystal.
What? She breaks the fucking crystal?
It's gone, Matt.
Damn it. Stop that.
It made so many appearances. This feels like a character death. Back in DC, Kitty and Magneto attend an annual remembrance reception at the National Holocaust Memorial, accompanied by Lee Forrester.
Okay.
Survivors of the Holocaust. Good thing she's there and not back at the mansion where Scott is, because that could get weird.
Oh,
Remember former lovers.
Yes.
Survivors of the Holocaust rise to the podium to ask after family and friends they lost track of during the war and wait to hear a response. This was a real thing they did back in, I guess, up into the 80s, maybe into the 90s.
I was going to ask you, I didn't know about this until, like, I read this
yeah.
issue whenever.
Yeah, they would do like a thing each year where survivors went up and just said like, "Hey, here's who I was never able to find again." It's crazy.
Yeah.
Kitty rises to ask after a great aunt of hers that her late grandfather was never able to find. Unbelievably, Magneto knew someone by that name.
Okay.
Then it's a little cheap, but at the same time, what a good way to
endear the two characters to one another.
Exactly. Yeah. Then some other old survivors recognize their old friend Magneto, who saved so many people at Auschwitz.
No one says his name. I was looking so closely. No one says his name. Do we even know? Do we have a name for Magneto at this point?
I don't think so. I think Xavier has called him Eric.
That's what I was wondering.
Magnus.
I know he was called Magnus, but that was very explicitly a pseudonym. That's when they fought Baron von Strucker, right? And got the Nazi gold. But
yes.
No, I didn't. You're
absolutely right. He wasn't saying Eric back then. He was saying Magnus.
So no one has said Eric to him yet, right?
No. Who's Eric?
Why didn't you say Eric? That's weird.
But so they do recognize him, say he saved so many people at Auschwitz, and they're able to give Kitty more context. Shava Prideman was in the resistance, and after the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising was sent to Auschwitz, where she died. Then, suddenly, Lee Forrester turns into Mystique and announces Magneto's identity to the room. She says she's part of a government team called Freedom Force, and her teammates appear behind her. Pyro, Avalanche, Destiny, Blob, and a woman named Spiral with 6 arms and golden armor.
Were you like, who the fuck is this?
I absolutely was. She rules there. She's got 6 arms and golden armor.
Spells.
She casts spells. She's got a horned helmet.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for her?
She's a friggin' babe. Not really. She's
there. You go. This is not the appropriate venue to make an arrest, I don't think.
Well, I think maybe this is like them kind of saying these guys are still fucking villains.
Sure.
But like this bad? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like this bad?
This is
bad enough to destroy the Holocaust. Yeah.
Magneto sends Kitty off to look for the real Lee Forrester and prepares to face down Freedom Force all alone, but soon the X-Men come bursting into the room. However, Destiny keeps calling out to her teammates where they'll appear.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Colossus bursts through the wall, and right before he does,
like Colossus there.
He's there.
Pyro's like, all right, gotcha. She's like, Nightcrawler there, and Blob's like, got him.
Yeah. Although Colossus doesn't have to burst through the wall. Kitty says it out loud. She's like, use a door. This is let
me Holocaust face you. Memorial. This is the Holocaust memorial, you dipshit.
So Colossus on the list, anti-Semite. And then finally, Avalanche ambushes Wolverine and Cyclops in an alley.
Yeah.
Which puts Colossus, Pyro, and Avalanche all on my list.
They're your anti-Semite.
They're all in here just openly destroying the Holocaust memorial.
Yeah.
Colossus pushes against Pyro's flames and clocks him in his dumb face. So good.
Yeah, very good.
Kitty faces up behind Destiny and Nerve pinches her out cold.
Also great. And Destiny's like, I knew this would happen, but it's okay. Like,
I knew we would lose.
But the Colossus thing is great. Well, she's like, I know the ending of this, and it's fine.
Yeah.
The Colossus thing is cool because he's like, you killed me once, Pyro. I'm going to beat your ass now.
Yes. Yeah, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does exactly that.
Yeah.
And then this might be my favorite.
Kurt Rupert.
favorite. Yeah, Kurt Rupert. Nightcrawler strains himself to teleport Blob up to the top of the Washington Monument and then port away. just leaves him there.
Yeah, very good. Just that's the way to deal with Blob. Just put him out the way.
Avalanche, standing over his handiwork after taking care of Wolverine and Colossus, is knocked the
Cyclops.
fuck out as Rogue flies in.
Yeah, she's just,
Everybody just forgot about Rogue.
I was just about to say, people keep forgetting about Rogue. Villains keep being like, we're winning, and then Rogue shows up and just crushes everybody.
Right. And same with the X-Men, right? The X-Men keep being like, well, Rogue's in trouble, I guess. And then she just absolutely destroys everybody.
Yeah, she's invulnerable. She's got super strength. She can fly. And on top of that, she can absorb people's memories and powers. Like, you've created a Superman.
Meanwhile, Spiral and Mystique go after Magneto. Magneto attempts to shield himself with a metal table, but Spiral uses some kind of spell to transform it into tape or something to wrap him all up.
Yeah,
it's one of those like ribbons from the Roy Thomas era that constricts itself around.
It's the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak.
He breaks free, but Spiral casts the spell to neutralize Magneto's powers. That's convenient. And Mystique puts a gun to his head.
Imagine putting a gun to Magneto's head.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be threatening. Then Spiral suddenly falls to the ground, revealing Cyclops behind her. Mystique is alone, left to face Wolverine's claws right upside her head.
Got her.
Cyclops is like, let's leave these guys for the police, but Mystique is like, we are the police. This is a legal arrest of an international criminal. In response, Magneto gives himself up and is put into handcuffs. To be continued.
What? So, cool.
Yeah.
Again, it still feels like, so this is sort of building to something. Like, this is building on something that we've seen for a while, which is there's some connection between Val Cooper and Mystique. Like, Mystique is trying to like weasel her way into that world.
Right. To the point where she had the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants headquarters secretly buried deep in the Pentagon.
In the Pentagon, yeah. Because she was undercover as Raven Darkholm and like Val Cooper's assistant.
Yeah.
But it also, the like Kitty and Magneto visit the Holocaust Museum very much feels like this fell out of my notebook. A Chris Claremont shaking stuff out of his notebook thing, right? Like just another note in his notebook.
He went there, he recorded the scenes, and he was like, I got to write about this. It's like when John Byrne put the West Edmonton Mall into Alpha 3. Except more solemn.
Both two places that don't want you to play Pokemon Go in them.
That's Jesus Christ.
Remember that? Oh, goodness. Yes. So, there's some notes about this. This is funny. First of all, when Moira's telling Scott that Magneto's dying, Scott's response is, I don't believe you.
Oh, yeah.
They're learning. How many times has this guy got to tell people he's dying and he's not dying for them to be like, no, he's not.
He just says no. No. Here, Matt, tell me Professor Xavier's dying.
Hey, Pat, all right. Are you sitting down? Because this is a kind of a serious thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Charles Xavier, he didn't want anybody to know about this. He's been keeping it to himself because he's trying to be strong for the team, and Professor Xavier's dying.
No. Oh, he's great.
He does say, I don't believe you at some point too, which is fun. It's like,
yeah.
Of course you don't. You have your experience tells you That Professor Xavier is never dying. He's always lying about it.
Yes. This isn't like denial as a stage of grief. This is denial as a survival
As
instinct.
a learned behavior, yeah.
Yeah.
As a rational response.
Is Healer just a sham doctor? Like, what did he do that gave Xavier 2 days of relief and then he wasn't allowed to think?
You'll be fine. Just get addicted to opium and die. That's my prescription. All right, so Spiral.
Yeah, who? What? Who? What? Who?
You just gotta wait. When are we reading the Long Shot miniseries? I think we're doing it.
Who?
There's a miniseries that has just been published, or it's in the middle of being published, called Long Shot. It's written by Ann Nocenti. And it's drawn by Art Adams, I think.
Oh, shit.
And we are not reading it in like timeline order because the only real thing that we see from it, the biggest thing that we see from it is Spiral. And all you have to know is at this point is she is a dimension hopping bad guy. She's an antagonist.
She can hop dimensions?
Who is stuck or who is in this dimension for a purpose, she's like kind of biding her time at the moment. You'll also need to meet a guy named Mojo, I think, before we get to the Long Shot miniseries. But that'll be, looks like it's on our schedule right now for October of this year. So in like 3 months, you'll find out the origins of this lady and who a person named Long Shot is.
Very exciting.
All right, Pat, we are coming to the end of this. Do you want me to read you the last issue of today? It's Uncanny X-Men number 200. And Pat, it's called The Trial of Magneto.
Whoa.
Can you believe it?
Yes, I do want you to read this to me.
Okay.
Sorry, Matt, but I have to say it. You know I have to say it. This is not truly issue number 200 of the X-Men.
Oh, my God.
This is really... unless you want to count reprints of old issues as new issues, which I would not, certainly. This is issue 168.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
New X-Men stories in the Uncanny continuity.
All right. Well,
please proceed.
Chris Claremont, writer, John Romita Jr. and Dan Green, artists, Glynis Oliver, colorist, Tom Orzechowski, letterer, Ann Nocenti, editor, and James Iredell, editor-in-chief.
Wait, did you notice? I just noticed this. They actually misspell his name in the credits.
Jim Schroeder.
Jim Schroeder.
Jim Schroeder. Very good. James Iredell, 1790 to 1799. Release date.
He was 9 years old?
I don't know why I said that. I don't know what those dates were. I just keep saying dates and I don't. Release date, September 10th, 1985. Cover date, December 1985.
Ooh.
Magneto marches in shackles to his trial in front of the International Criminal Court in Paris. He's like walking through like a castle dungeon. It's like, I don't think, is that what
Yeah.
Like
I was like, are these the catacombs?
As a newscaster, Neil Conan.
Yeah, you can't forget his name. It is mentioned all over this issue.
He was a real actual NPR journalist at the time, and he just keeps saying his name. He says it 5 times in this.
I'm Neil Conan.
I'm Neil Conan. This is Neil Conan. From Neil Conan, he just keeps saying it. It's like, okay, dude.
Which is, I would say about half of this issue, about half of this issue's narration is just done through newscasts.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And there's a few parts
cool.
where you just can't, like, functionally, you need narration. There's no reason a newscaster would say it. But if it can be told through a news report, it is.
So the newscaster narrates Magneto's backstory and sets the scene out front. This includes, crucially, Alpha, the ultimate mutant, turning Magneto into a baby.
Yes, very important that I didn't think it would be. I thought it was just a joke that they would include him being turned into a baby, but it turns out to be relevant as we go through the issue here.
Unbelievably, Magneto being turned into a baby is deeply, deeply relevant.
I thought we were fully past this.
So, Sir James Jaspers. Readers of Captain Britain will recognize that name.
Not me.
No, you'll learn it. Fuck. Episode 95, January of next year.
That's okay. Stay tuned.
All right. Sir James Jaspers for the prosecution and Xavier and Gabrielle Haller for the defense look out from the courthouse steps over a massive crowd of agitated protesters. Are you allowed to just be assistant counsel because you're a famous guy who knows about mutants?
I haven't found a place that Xavier isn't allowed to go yet.
There's no rule that says a geneticist can't be part of an international criminal court. Meanwhile, the racist siblings that shot Storm in Africa are watching this all unfold on the news, celebrating their upcoming opportunity to kill Xavier, Haller, and Magneto on an international stage. Who would want to kill Gabrielle Haller in addition to Xavier and Magneto? What connection do all three of those have to each other? Huh.
Well, there was that one story where they were all together.
What? Meanwhile, the X-Men find themselves returned from the X-Men and New Mutants Asgardian Wars to Paris. They quickly find some shelter and figure out what to do next. Remember at the end of those annuals, there was this moment where they're like, why are we in Paris? He said he was sending us home.
Yes. And
yeah,
Loki sent them to Paris because that's where Xavier is in that exact moment.
Yes.
This is happening right after the end of that series.
Yes. Very funny. They just appear in the middle of Paris. They just appear in the middle of Paris, all in like Norse warrior garb.
Yeah.
And with a giant winged horse.
And then Rachel disappears them and leaves everybody there with the memory that they got to see George Lucas testing out some fancy special effects.
A few days later in Poland, we see a beam of light cut through a fence in a military outpost. It looks very like a Cyclops beam.
Yeah, like an optic blast.
It sends the entire complex into a fiery blaze, because Cyclops has heat beams that come out of his eyes.
It's, if the cops had thought about it for a second.
Wait, this couldn't have started a fire because a panel zooms in on a piece of graffiti in the rubble. Free Magneto, signed the X-Men. When the news goes out from Neil Conan, who says his own name, Xavier has a minor heart attack and commands the X-Men to find these terrorists. He does have a real heart attack.
This is like that guy that wrote Black's Rule on his driveway. Like,
yes.
The X-Men
How
wouldn't
did anyone
say
believe this?
Free Magneto, sincerely, the X-Men.
Exactly.
What kind of graffiti is that?
God, the Black's Rule guy is that guy. What a fucking swing. That's what he thinks. That's how he thinks people talk. All right. Anyway, as the trial commences, Sir James presents the prosecution's case. Magneto has murdered a lot of people.
Seems open and shut.
But as the defense prepares for opening arguments the next day, another terrorist attack occurs in West Germany, bringing crowds of protesters to the trial once again. One even entering the building to condemn Gabby as a traitor to her race, meaning human beings.
Yeah.
But there's also like anti-Semitic slurs being thrown around, or at least implied. And somebody calls her a slut. Why do they do that?
Yeah, that's just got to be like a generic insult, right? There's nothing that there's no connection there between
Is there like
her being a defense attorney
yeah.
and the insult slut being hurled at.
I was wondering if there was like an anti-Semitic, like biblical Jezebel kind of like is that like an anti-Semitic slur that happens?
They are honing in like really hard on her Jewishness.
Yeah. But unshaken, she presents her key point. Magneto, of course, was reborn when he was turned into a baby by Alpha, the ultimate mutant, and should only be tried for crimes after that point. The Tribunal of Judges, Pat, agree.
They agree. They're like, what? Well, yeah, I mean, he was turned into a baby and then lived a whole life.
They're like in the back room deliberating, and they're like, look, Jeff, could you commit a crime before you were a baby? No, I can't. Good point, Margaret.
So this tribunal agrees with us that until you're a baby, you're dead.
You're dead. You can't. Dead people cannot commit crimes.
Can't commit a crime as a dead person.
Is it true that dead people can't commit crime? Is it true that dead people? If I set up like a some sort of money laundering scheme or something, or a Ponzi scheme or a tax evasion scheme, and I put it into motion and then I die, and then it goes into motion after I'm dead, did I just commit that crime?
Yes, that's still illegal.
Yes, but am I the perpetrator of that crime? Or is it a perpetratorless crime?
Huh. MutantMenacePod@gmail.com.
Lawyers, all you lawyers who listen to this podcast.
Lawyers, tell us what you know. If you're not a lawyer, tell us what you think.
I love this ruling on if you get turned into a baby, you can't. It's so funny. It makes me think of that the 5 to 4 podcast about how the Supreme Court sucks and all the bad Supreme Court decisions.
Oh,
I imagine them making an episode about the ruling where it was decided if you get turned into a baby, your crimes go. I imagine they would be in support of it because they're all prison abolitionists, but like the lawyer brain
for this
trying to like
is there like
trying to like deconstruct this idea. All right.
Wait a second. All of these murders took place before you turned into a baby. By George.
So many people showing up to their trials in diapers from now on.
I'm a baby now.
Baby. Look.
Can't try me.
He's doing the baby defense.
It's a baby Jeopardy.
Baby Jeopardy. What is the square block?
Baby Jeopardy.
Meanwhile, the X-Men, they're nearby trying to pinpoint the next possible terrorist attack. They spot a children's hospital in town that seems like the perfect target and stake it out. And this is so crazy. Cyclops they're sitting around like a table, and Cyclops is like, this is where I believe is most likely he'll attack next.
Yeah. They spend hours staking it out. When we find the X-Men, they're talking about like, Jesus Christ, Cyclops has had us out here for 3 hours in the dark.
How could he predict this? He's like, it's just what I believe. I just believe it.
If I were a terrorist.
It's just my belief. Back off. I believe this.
Scott, are you the one?
No, I just believe it.
No, these are concussive force. They couldn't have started that fire.
Hey, Pat, here's the fucking wild thing. He's right. In the middle of the night, a tank and several armored men fire on the hospital and set it ablaze. Tanks are also concussive force. They're not fire. The X-Men manage to stop the soldiers and put out the fire, but not before the same graffiti is on the wall. And more importantly, not before the police show up and assume the X-Men did all the damage themselves. By the next day, protesters are gathered and are even throwing rotten fruit at the defense. They worry what the crowd will be willing to do if Magneto is found innocent.
Yeah.
One of the robot guys they fight he says something about his Thunder Puncher. He's like, my Thunder Puncher worked.
That's right. He takes out Colossus.
Just call it your fist, man. It's just called a fist. It's called a fist. You don't have to call it Thunder Puncher. Are you Thor? Back in Westchester, Madeline finds herself alone at the mansion when Corsair and Lilandra port in and demand to see Xavier immediately. They know he's dying. She tells them he's in Paris. They leave without giving any further detail, and Madeline goes into early labor from the shock.
This is insane. Can you imagine just being a normal person whose partner has an exciting job, and like that's the extent of your exposure to it?
Yeah.
And suddenly two aliens that you know.
Yeah, and one's like,
pop
I'm his
in
dad.
and say, your partner's father figure is dying. Where do we take us to him immediately?
And you have to say, oh, he's at an international court in Paris for his friend who's charged with mass murder.
The mass murderer. It's very and then they just like dip out. They're just like they don't even say thanks or goodbye. They're like, you wouldn't understand.
Oh boy. So, as the trial goes on, the crowd gets bigger, but the team notices a growing pro-mutant contingent.
Huh.
Inside the court, Gabby grills Admiral Svarov, commander of the nuclear submarine that Magneto wrecked.
You remember that?
Making him look like a freaking moron. He's like, he killed all my men. And she's like, didn't you fire nuclear missiles at him? And he's like, well, yeah, but he threatened my country. So these were acts of war and not murder? Fine.
Oh.
Magneto takes the stand in response, offering that he was only seeking peace. He talks about his growth and his new philosophy on how to achieve it, and the judge seems intrigued. That's another thing. The Unabomber gets up in front of the court, and it's like, look, I thought the way to peace was shooting a bunch of people, or bombing a bunch of things and killing a bunch of people. Lately, I've started thinking, no, just be nice to people.
Yeah, that's not great. All
right, man. You've earned it. Acquitted. Meanwhile, the X-Men have found the spot of the next terrorist attack. The energy beam is mutant in nature, it turns out. So Rachel agrees to track it. Huh.
That's a big deal for her.
They find themselves in a boat riding up the river right alongside the crowd of protesters. Inside are several more armored goons waiting for them. They recognize it as a lose-lose situation. If they save the protesters, they'll just be seen as attacking a tourist boat. But what can they do? They fight!
It's the X-Men. This is much better than letting Arcade go because you don't want to expose your identity. You know that you're going to be seen in a criminal in this situation.
Yeah.
Whether you do the right thing, if you do the right thing. But if you do the wrong thing, people die. So you do the right thing.
Yeah. This is the ultimate superhero question, right? This happens a lot in superheroes. They manage just fine, but as Wolverine notes, there's no sign of the immense power blasts that have been at all these other staged attacks. This must be a diversion, he realizes, just as the wall of the courthouse is burst open by an explosion. The racist twins burst in through the wall, calling themselves Fenris.
Fenris.
Xavier's too weak to stop them, but Magneto stands tall in front of them, vowing to protect everyone in the court. They match powers for a while, but eventually Magneto's shields are overpowered. The two of them are just too powerful when they're touching each other. Ew.
They gotta hold hands or kiss or touch each other's
Don't
butts
say
in
ew.
order to...
Don't say or. Don't say or there. I don't want you to have said or there.
These are the ways that they could they have to be touching. So in order to be powerful, so they could hold hands. They could squeeze butts. They could
Patrick. They're
stick
siblings.
fingers in each other's mouths.
They're siblings. Look, me and my brother are just too powerful when we're touching each other.
That's why we're always doing it.
Rachel shows up and manages to stall them just long enough for Xavier to find enough strength to jump between Fenris, severing their bond. James Jasper jumps at the opportunity and grabs the girl, ready to bash her head in with a rock. God damn it, dude. But Magneto stops her.
He's out of his mind. He is crazed, and he's just got a big rock in his hand that he's about to bring down on this girl's head.
Captain Britain fans will not be surprised by this, but I guess James Jasper, in every reality, is a fucking psychopath. Magneto stops him, though. Rachel also picks up their origins. They're actually Baron von Strucker's kids. The Captain America villain, Baron von Strucker. And Pat, where else do we know him from?
He was the one that kidnapped Gabriel Haller, right? That Xavier and Magneto had to rescue her from.
Yes, and he was going to reclaim all of Hitler's gold from the map in Gabriel Haller's brain to restart the Third Reich. But instead, Magneto stole it and made 8 bases.
And a space center.
They'll be turned over to the French authorities. Xavier suffers another heart attack just then, and the twins break free, zapping a hole in the riverside wall to make their escape.
That's how it's written in the comic. Xavier goes, "They'll be turned over to the French authorities."
Xavier and Magneto are washed away to a garden, and Xavier accepts that he's dying. He gives Magneto a pep talk, convincing him that he's capable of earning the X-Men's trust and leading them. Magneto gets promoted from villain all the way up to leader.
We skipped a few steps there, I think.
Corsair and Lilandra finally find Xavier at that moment and teleport him to space to hopefully save him. Didn't this happen to him already? Didn't this already happen again?
Number one, yes. Number two, what beautiful last words to leave this Earth with before 2 aliens show up and say, "We're here to save you," and then fuck off to the other side of the universe. Let him die.
Yeah, like, man, you've totally fucked up my whole thing.
Yeah. I've been saving that speech.
I have to write another one for the next time I die.
It's all right. I've done it a few times.
I'll just go to my one of my several about to die notebooks. The X-Men march into the crumbling courtroom with the armored goons they beat up, proving that these were the men responsible for the terrorist attacks. At Fenris's command, all of this is, I guess rightfully, grounds for a mistrial. Also, when James Jasper is like, "Hey, I'm fine with Xavier and Magneto dying," when they get swept away by the head judge fucking slaps him in the face.
Yeah. You fucking idiot.
That has got to be a mistrial, right? If the head judge slaps the chief judge slaps the prosecutor in the face, and the assistant counsel gets teleported to space, and the defendant saves the lives of every single person in the courtroom.
Yeah, I would say if Nazis physically attack your trial.
So I think this is very clearly a mistrial. Like, I agree with that. But the fact that it's just over now, well,
yeah,
is
I don't think that's how International Criminal Court works.
Yeah, it's just like, look, if everything gets all weird, the criminal just goes free. It's fine.
Yeah,
no matter how
gotta
many
let him go.
Killed, how many nuclear submarines they sunk. Look, Magneto sheds a tear for Xavier in our final panel and promises to keep true to Xavier's vision.
Would have been really beautiful if Xavier had actually died right there.
Do you
I think this was written as his death, if that's what you're about to ask.
Okay, yeah.
And I think Jim Shooter was like,
who?
Sorry, I think Jim Stupid was like, no, he's in Secret Wars 2.
I think, honestly, Professor Xavier, well, is this too much of a spoiler? Professor Xavier doesn't come back for, I think, until like 1990.
What?
Maybe 1991.
Damn. Okay.
So you're probably right that he was like, all right, I am done with Professor Xavier. I'm done with him as a character. And I mean, it's really interesting. The fact this small thing, it was a small part of the issue, right? Xavier disappears to space.
Yeah.
Is a major, like, this is going to set in motion. This is good, or this is like the backdrop for everything that is about to happen for the next 5+ years.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't read it, but just through cultural absorption, I know the points, right? It's the next 5 years are going to be defined by Xavier not being there, and then a lot of the 90s are going to be around Xavier coming back, right?
There's a bunch of stories in the early 90s about Xavier coming back, and then he's just back, right? And then I see what you're saying. Okay, the stories in the mid 90s are very much about Xavier's past.
Yes, it's like
why is Xavier important to the Marvel universe, and what is the impact of having a person as powerful as Xavier and as influential as Xavier on the Earth?
Yes. Yeah.
Is I guess like the theme of the mid 90s. But yeah, the late 80s is all going to be about how would all of these people function without the influence of Xavier, and how the new systems they build, the new relationships they build, the new moral codes that they forge, and the way mutant kind falls apart.
Sick.
It was building to something much bigger relating to those themes when the Marvel editorial staff and every X title just completely derails in 1991.
Okay.
But I might as well say it here because it doesn't happen, so it's not a spoiler. But Chris Claremont was intending from here to 1991, maybe 92 or 93, to build to a giant war between many different factions of mutants that all have different viewpoints for how mutant kind should proceed. And it was going to be a massive war. And it would have been really cool, but it doesn't happen.
Wild. I love when we get a little look at what should have been.
Yeah. How did you feel about these issues? I mean, while they do feel like a grab bag, it culminates in something fucking huge.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Matt, that it kind of feels like he is, like you said, going into his notebook, finding any idea he wrote down and finding a way to make an issue out of it.
Right.
But it feels to me like he's not necessarily doing that because he's out of ideas as much as he needs time to bake some things in. So the slow progression of Magneto, which was seeded like a long time ago. I guess God Loves Man Kills is when we first see that side of Magneto, like the more pro human, not humanity, but pro people side.
Is that the case, or is it when, or did Secret Wars 1 come first? Maybe it was God Loves Man Kills that was first.
And then, well, yeah, it was God Loves Man Kills, and then there's that that issue where he thought he killed Kitty that we mentioned at the top,
right?
And he swears to turn over a new leaf, right? And there's other moments like that. It happens in Secret Wars where he's added to the good guy side. This is something Claremont, we know, and also it's clear, was building to, that has to culminate in the Trial of Magneto. I don't think there's any other way to have him lead the X-Men unless
he answers for his crimes. And
exactly.
And somebody is able to say to the audience, here's how this works.
Right, exactly. Also, the other thing that runs through all of these issues, it's run through 6 months to a year of X-related titles that we've read, is this rising anti-mutant sentiment and how much worse it's getting than what had already been established to this point. Mm-hmm. And I think that goes back to God Loves Man Kills too, but it's becoming a lot more intense recently, and it feels like, again, we know, but also it feels like it's building to
something bad is going to happen to the mutants because of this anti-mutant sentiment.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so it feels like instead of launching directly into that straight out of Dazzler or Cool on Goth or whatever,
right,
they're giving that time to simmer, to sit and say like, oh shit, things are getting bad, things are getting worse, and by the time it actually happens, you're already living in that world where everybody hates mutants to such a degree.
So I think that is true and interesting. I also think there's something a little more practical happening here, which is just he has to wait till Secret Wars 2 is over.
Yeah.
Like
Secret Wars 1 derailed every story he was telling.
And so he has to tread water. He doesn't want that to happen again. So he's got to tread water a little bit and just be like, all right, everything will be subtext. All my long-standing plots right now will be subtext. And I'll just do a bunch of one-offs so that fucking Joff Glooper cannot ruin this.
Yeah. And look,
and it's being successful. It's turning out successfully.
Yeah, it's weird to get these sort of one-off like Monster of the Week X-Men issues because it hasn't happened in the Claremont era, or at least not like several back-to-back like this. But it's good. They're good stories.
They're good stories.
Except for the
arcade.
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's Pat's Deals and Steals.
Oh, Matt.
Huh.
If you didn't notice, it's time for Pat's Deals and Steals, and do I have a steal and deal for you today?
Do you?
Yes, it's combining two of my favorite things into one, Matt. Do you know what? If you had to guess, what are two of my favorite things?
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Donuts.
Close. Cheese. Spider-Man and cheese. Free from Dorman's Cheese, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars Puffy stickers and album set. Spider-Man and his friends in 24 non-toxic vinyl puffy stickers plus a 12-page sticker album. It's up to a $2.75 value. Yours free when you send in the UPC symbol from 6 packages
What?
of delicious Dorman's American Singles. These full-color stickers are great to collect, trade, and wear. So get Dorman's American Singles and get your order in soon. There is a little asterisk here next to Dorman's American Singles, not available in all areas. But, Matt, here we have
stickers.
Spider-Man holding a sticker album and a set of puffy stickers. It's really funny because all of it is drawn. Like, none of this is a photograph. So it's a picture of Spider-Man holding a pack of somebody just drawing tiny Spider-Man. But then also a big old pack of American Singles with Spider-Man on the front.
Man, you would love a pack of cheese with Spider-Man on the front.
I would. They started doing those tasty cake packages with the X-Men on the front because of X-Men 97 season 2. And boy, does that work on me.
So were you a sticker kid?
Not really. I mean, they were fine. I liked stickers.
Did you have a sticker book?
No.
I did have a sticker book, but I don't remember when the stickers got into it. Like, my first memory of the sticker book, it already had stickers in it. So I must have done it when I was like too young to make memories.
Yeah.
Started the sticker book, and by then it was just like, oh, these are those stickers. These are the stickers that I have in the sticker book. You know, stickers, self-adhesive stickers. Here's a little history lesson. They were created in 1935, and they were mostly for rations or bumper stickers.
For rations? Like you ate them?
Wartime gas rationing allocations in 1940s. Oh, you ate. But then, around the 60s and 70s is when they became like a thing for kids that kids like. And then this is the puffy sticker variety.
The puffy sticker, a new era of sticker.
A new era of sticker. I never know what to do with a sticker. When I get a sticker, I started doing some bumper stickers when I was on my road trip.
Okay. Like buying them or putting them on your car?
Both. But
interesting.
Because it was just like, oh, my car has been to these places. Like I want to get home and look at my bumper and be like, look at all the places I just was.
Yeah.
And now that I'm driving around, now I have a bunch of bumper stickers on my car and I'm like, oh, this looks cheesy. But
I'm that guy now.
Yeah, but it was like the getting home with them was cool, but now I'm like, now I just have them. But
take a picture, tear them off.
Largely, when I get stickers, I'm like, this is cool, but where the fuck am I even gonna put this?
I put them on my water bottles a lot, or here's what I do. So I have my desk that I work at, and then I have my old desk that I don't really use. Sometimes I do like little projects or Legos on them or something. I've been putting bumper stickers all over that thing. The cool ones that I get and I don't have a place for just go on my spare table.
I'm afraid to put them on water bottles because you wash those with water and soap. So it's going to wipe the stickers off.
Yeah. Here's the thing about stickers, Matt. They're temporary. You can't get attached.
So I've been putting them on my computer. So I'm looking at my computer, my desktop PC, and it's got a Cinema Minson sticker from our friends who have a little video production company in Cinema Minson, New Jersey. I've got a Forbidden Planet sticker from the comic book store Forbidden Planet in London.
Oh.
I know there's other Forbidden Planets, but this was from the one in London. I have a Baron Samedi sticker that I got from a voodoo store. It was just it came free with the voodoo stuff I bought at the voodoo store in Louisiana. I have a Shirley Jackson sticker that I got at SPX one year with a comic book about Shirley Jackson. I got an X-Men sticker from when we sent out all those flyers to different comic book stores, and we sealed each envelope with a sticker. And there was one that I thought was cool. And then I have a sticker, the Best Show with Tom Sharpling sticker from when I went to the Best Show garage sale in Los Angeles.
Wait a second. Didn't I reimburse you for those stickers?
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's at Deals and Seals.
Okay, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Mutant Menace.
That's right.
Here's some things you can do if you liked this episode. You can join our Patreon. There's a link in the show notes. You can check it out, patreon.com/Mutant Menace. You can go to our YouTube. I don't know where you listened to this, but probably wherever you listen to it, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. You can leave comments or like or share on social media with your friends. You can go to Instagram.com/Mutant Menace Pod.
That's
and
right.
we have unique cover art for each episode. You can share it, you can like it, you can comment there. You can join our Discord, which also link in the show notes. I think that's really the only way you can get to the Discord. I don't know if you can search it. What else can they do, Pat?
They can tell somebody. They can just talk to somebody and say, like,
At
hey,
dinner.
Mutant Menace.
Your
Fucking
parents.
Rad. Yeah, it should be at the dinner table. It should be someone related to you, especially if 2 out of 3 of you in a family are already hooked.
Look, if you are listening to this podcast and you are habitually sleeping with somebody, that person better fucking know about this podcast.
Listen to this while you bone down.
Well, that's not what I said, but they better know. You better have at least told that person about this cool podcast you like.
Huge thanks to Krills Wilson for the music and to Julia Selly for the voice of Trish Tilby.
Here's what I want to know, Pat.
Yeah, what's that, man?
If somebody wants to write into Pat's email corner, how would they do that?
Oh, that's mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. Thank you for remembering.
All that said,
yeah,
that means our episode is over, and we have just one thing to do: is say the catchphrase that we say at the end of every single episode of this podcast.
Our famous sign off.
Yeah. All right. As we say at the end of every single episode, easy as pie, Daddy. Do you want me to say it again, Pat? Easy. Look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes in the video.
Stop.
Easy as pie, Daddy.
Ugh.
Easy as pie, Daddy. Remember how we say that at the end of every episode? Easy as pie, Daddy.
All right. And as always, folks, please say thank you, that sort of thing.
Easy as pie, Daddy.